So hey, I'm Andrew Cobeldick and I'm a master stylist at Boy Hair Salon and Spa down in Wellington, and I'm also a New Zealand L'Oreal ID artist currently. So my hairdressing story is a little bit wild because I actually started off doing building, moving to Wellington when I was 15 years old and absolutely hated it, left after the first day. And I knew that trade wasn't for me, and so I needed to find something else, and my parents had a deal with me that basically if you're leaving school early and you want to do these things, you have to get an apprenticeship. And so we just put one and one together and made sense that basically, hey look, hairdressing should be for you. And then I fell into it and I've just fallen in love with it ever since. So the way that I started was, there was this cute little Sweet Betty salon down in Nelson that I started with, and I was their after school boy. And at that time I was applying to go to the local Polytech down at NMIT down in Nelson as well. But basically I lasted 2 weeks there because then that work offered me, at Elise Hair Design, they offered me an apprenticeship role, and so then I left the full-time course and went fully into an apprenticeship role. And I knew that basically from then it was meant to be, that if it all worked seamlessly, I didn't have to fight for it necessarily, it just fell into place. And I just went with the flow and I've been going with the flow with it ever since. Honestly, it was being around the people. It was all day that I got to talk people's heads off. I literally just got to have fun. And you're just creating, and it's not set behind a desk, you're not set in this, the hours are a little bit different, but you have this sense of freedom throughout the day to kind of, just be you and who you are, and you're not just told you have to be here at this time. And it's like hanging out with friends and your clients. It's a great time to be around. So down in Nelson, I was probably there just under 12 months. Very early on, I realized that I needed more and I wanted more. And Nelson was just getting too small for me, so I wanted to grow from that salon and found a new direction. And so then my new direction soon after that was, I actually left that salon with no plan. I hadn't had a backup job, and I applied for 2 salons, one in Wellington and one actually down in Rangiora. And I got offered both those jobs, but I chose to come work for the franchise Rodney Wayne back in about early to mid 2012. Working for a franchise was really great to begin with because they're all about their training, and their training facilities and programs were phenomenal. I was able to get the extra out of it as well, so there was opportunities to go on extra courses where it wasn't going to cost me. So they were putting into a lot of time into my training, and I felt like I had amazing training through them to be able to grow into the person that I am today. So they really set up that basis for me, and that there were people all around the country, not just in one area. So there were constant contacts where it wasn't just a small little world, it suddenly opened it up to a big world, and realizing there's more than just a salon, there's many things happening in different parts, which is really cool to be open to. Soon after I started, maybe a year or two, I applied to be part of their artistic team, which was their 5 to 6 stylists that they had at the time. And you would go do education throughout the country with them and be trained with Richard Kavanagh. So that led me into assisting him on big editorial shoots and finding the creative side that I wanted to in the fashion industry. We have so many different paths we can go down and to be, and I knew being in salon every day, I didn't just want to do that. I wanted to be more. I wanted to keep pushing myself and pushing those boundaries. And so, like I said, we got to work on editorial shoots. He took me around the world on fashion shows, but then I got over this real hunger for education, where giving back was one of the things that I absolutely love. So sharing the knowledge I've learned from overseas, sharing the love that and the skills that people from just all up and down the country have given me, and giving that back to the salon and to the locals has been amazing. So after I got qualified in early 2014, or I should say middle of 2014, I was able to, with the artistic team, to really set up these courses for them and to be educating. So we had a few apprentices in our salon with Rodney Wayne then, and I was able to take 3 to 4 different apprentices for weekly trainings on Tuesdays evenings for a couple of hours. But not only there, that I would give up my time on a Sunday as well and put together these local regional courses for Rodney Wayne in its own, and they would come and see you, and you would create hair ups and hair cutting courses in the editorial fashion side, or colour knowledge, and just absolutely anything. And these would be run nationwide as well, and you'd have little pockets of different regions for it. And it's just been amazing to be able to give all this education back from just starting early on, not knowing that there is this route that you can go down. and to be able to see your knowledge passed on and then them now passing on your knowledge now. It's been pretty cool. In April last year I started at Boy Salon and Spa, and now this is a totally different vibe to a franchise than at Rodney Wayne, just due to the fact that it is individually owned. And the culture for me was I had done all my training and my education has gone as far as I'd felt with Rodney Wayne, and I needed that next step because obviously as people grow and time changes, we grow and our needs and desires change. And so for me, I needed that next step, and that next challenge is exactly like when I was leaving from Nelson. And I'd spent 6 years there and thought, hey, I need a fresh outlook, I need a fresh challenge, and this was it for me. So we absolutely have a huge team at Boy. We have a staff of 24. We have 14 stylists to about 5 apprentices and 5 beauty spa as well. And you know, I do have my own clientele where I colour, I cut and I style, and I love to take care of it, but we have the assistance from our apprentices as well that give us helping hand, and we also have the opportunity to collaborate with just our colourists in the salon as well as this other just cutters, you could almost say. And we get to collaborate as well if we choose to, or we can work individually. So it's a really fun family vibe, and it's just all about having fun. So my clientele, I find for me, is really special because I have a wide variety. My oldest client being 93 to my youngest being 7 years old. But the 93-year-old and the 7-year-old exactly have the same personality. They're fun, they're bubbly, and they're a little bit wild and a little bit kooky as well. So what's really rewarding is the instant satisfaction of our job. Instantly you get to see that they are so happy with their hair. You get to instantly transform them, and you get to have this real sense of just lovingness towards them because you get to change their look, their feel, and instantly they have a spring in their step, they have a smile on their face, and it's such a power. And also the fact that they say that, you know, your hair is the crown you never take off, so we have to invest in it, we have to take care of it, and it's really, really amazing to be able to impact someone's life as well, and have a conversation, a relationship with them, and just to be able to spend time with someone for that amount of time is really rare in these industries and in today's life. What's challenging about the role is that the fact that it's always moving. There's always things happening, it's always on the ball, but we do have time restraints, and we also deal with people, and you know, as we all know, people are hard to deal with. You know, we're always, someone's up, someone's down, and you have to read that situation. So, you know, I feel like we have to have a lot of patience, and it's a lot of time coming through for people, but it's so rewarding when you get that nervous person, that person who's just feeling down, and you see that, oh, they're just nervous, and you get to break them down, you get to bring out their personality and their little bubble, and it's really fun. So I would ask your stylists who are training you if they've ever been involved in it, but then go and find your team. Go and find like that little fun photographer that you've got as your friend. You know, go find a little makeup artist who is also your friend, and just go have a fun little shoot in your garden at the house on a Sunday morning if you wanted to, or a Sunday evening. Start creating your vision and who you are, and have fun with it. And that then will lead you, and post it, and then that will lead you into other things, and then you're like, oh yeah, this opportunity's come up. I'll do this, I'll do that. But starting with that own initiative yourself, putting a Sunday or a Monday away for yourself to create these shoots for yourself is really good. And you get to learn, you get to have fun and put your own twist on it, and it's all for you, which is also the best thing. So it's honestly an industry that it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, where you're from, what you look like, what your educational background is, if you finished school or not finished school, this is for you. You can start at any time, any place, any area, and you can still have the same love, the same dreams, and the same drive, and the same training for absolutely everyone, and then it's up to you to take it to that next level yourself. In general, as an overview within salon work, you know, we're looking for people that are passionate, that have a drive, but just have this little bit of something. So if you're into your fashion, rock it. Go full pedal to the metal. Don't limit yourself. Just be who you are, come in who you are, and just be that. Don't try to be anything. Don't put anything on. If that is who you are, then that is who you are. And in this hair industry, we take you for that, and we want to embrace that for who you are. So be who you are, be passionate, have that drivenness, but just make sure you come in and see us. Shake our hand, have some fun, be bubbly, dedicate that time, and we'll absolutely love you. So time management in our industry is one of the biggest things that we believe. We're an appointment base and we're also people's base. So everybody's time is really valued, even yours. So the biggest thing we ask is that you're prompt, you're on time, and remember, on time is late. Your appointment starts at 10, but you've got to be there at 10 to 10. You've got to be set up and ready. There's nothing worse than if you walk in that door and your client's sitting on the couch for you already. Be prepared to just turn up that little bit earlier, but give that wow factor. And that goes a long way in our industry. It goes a long way to a clientele, and a long successful career will be headed your way if you can nail that.